Well, alright then. Welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. I'm Hupfen, and we are doing alright for ourselves. Ignore the little bit of flooding that we had. This whole situation became more urgent after the roof caved in on itself. But we're addressing it. We're addressing it. We are pretty much ready to swap over the pump and then really hope that this airlock holds. We will see how that goes. Hazel is cleaning the outhouse. Fiverr has just shown up and will hopefully be contributing in relatively short order. We have a few issues. Well, a few mush bars queued up. That's what I was eventually getting at. And we started working on our decor a little bit. Not a lot, but a few hints here and there. And again, the keyboard is acting up, but only in this game for some reason. I don't understand it. So, we want them to come up here and build, and deal with this reservoir a bit more. So let's prioritize that up a little bit. And let's build some ladders. Building out of granite is actually better decor-wise, but we don't really care. We want to kind of like prep and sweep this area. Because eventually we're going to build the input vent way up here and just kind of let it all fill and flow. And indeed, we should use actual tiles to do this. The reason being, actual tiles will hopefully hold a bit better, at least more consistently, when it comes to not flooding. We want to not flood our base. We've experienced that ever so slightly. It's a little hazardous. So this hatch is just eating our stuff up. And that's annoying, but whatever, that's fine. What is my keyboard doing? So yeah, we prioritized that. We're going to need people on the musher, on the generator. It's whatever. It'll get dealt with. We're gonna build out this way a little bit. It looks like, this copper ore is going to eventually just collapse. As long as this doesn't take damage any further, like, that's okay. That's kind of springing a leak. It'll be fine. It'll be totally fine. So yeah, we will dig this out a little bit. Folks will come down in here. They'll repair it. Oxygen is actually pretty good up in here. I mean, part of our eventual plan is to build an airlock over here so that so that our oxygen doesn't flow all the way away. We've got good concentration though, so we're not concerned. It's just a thing to be mindful of. And, you know, we've got all this water. It's just gonna be here. We are going to request a bit of sweeping. And actually we have some stuff up here that we can start to harvest. You know, have this bristlebriar we can uproot. We want that because we can put that in one of these vases. Well, actually, yeah, we'll plant one here. And that'll up our decor a little bit, particularly in the bedroom area. And that's nice. This is just gonna break eventually. That's fine. You know? This bit of water is gonna flood out. You know? All this water, I don't know what we're really gonna do about it. Like, it's just kinda there. Apologies, my phone is going off a little bit here and there. You might be able to hear that on the recording. My bad. We actually want these to be tile, not just dug out. This area will eventually be our lavatory. Which, actually, no, this does need to be dug out because the shower can only be so tall. So, no, we'll cancel some of those and dig. Now we want that relatively soon, but we want to finish this whole plumbing reservoir thing relatively soon. So let's prioritize this a little bit. Get that done and over with. Which we're actually going to have to mop that first, because otherwise it's going to flood. It's going to be just obnoxious for all parties involved. Yeah, we're going to set up a nice little area over here. And we're going to make this our barrier point, as it were. So all of this up here, we're just gonna have to mop it up, I guess. Like, we'll figure out something to do with it. But we have research complete, so it's time to get moving on our next thing. We're gonna do... no, let's do filtration. Gas piping, maybe desirable. Relatively soon, but like, our gas situation is pretty good. We've got lots of oxygen. So, no real cause for alarm. You know, we got our duplicants building a nice little barrier to keep the reservoir constrained. And then I think eventually, like... Actually, here's what we'll do. We will lock this. Eventually someone will come down and actually address that. And then we'll have someone come down in here and deconstruct this airlock. So that's just gonna be gone. And that's something that, you know, Hazel, you are... Well, no, you're not. Someone is going to have to deal with that. You know, they're going to have to do that work. Who's it going to be? Pipkin. Nope. Someone is going to do that eventually. But you know, all this stuff is ready to go. So let's prioritize this up a little bit. Power. We can have big batteries now. Storage of electricity is not really our problem right now. So that's not really necessary. Power switch, not really necessary. The coal generator, that's going to come. That's going to come a little later because we don't have a lot of coal. We have a bit. 7,000 kilograms, which actually seems like a lot now that I spell it out like that. But we don't have like a consistent resource on that. And then I come over here and point to some coal. Come over there, point to some... Okay, we got coal. We have got coal. So, that'll be something we do in the future. But we got to build out this little restroom area. And we'll keep the outhouse around as, you know, a backup. People will probably prefer to use the actual toilet. But in order to do that, we need to get down in here. So... someone's gonna have to deal with this. Plumbing. Actually, no, we don't need the pump yet. We just need the vent. So we can cancel those. Build a ladder upwards in relatively clean oxygen. Totally breathable. And put our liquid vent up here, which is going to require some piping. It's actually going to require a lot of piping, but luckily we can build it with sandstone. So that's not a huge issue. We have plenty of sandstone. And so that will come later, once we start building and positioning everything. Set some sweep orders up in here. Still don't have any meal lice, so we're stuck building, you know, we're stuck forming those. Good bit of electricity. We'll keep things flowing through the night, at least partially. So here's our loo, and here's our shower. Now these are intake pipes. And these are output pipes. We need to rotate that. And then this comes all the way up here. Oops. A little too much. There we go. So that's a lot of piping. But these will not be the only piping related things. These will not be the only plumbing related things that we do. So we have plenty of build orders coming in. Let's see. How's our oxygen? Our oxygen is still wonderful. You know, for a game called Oxygen Not Included, we have included lots of oxygen. And our reservoir is pretty much ready to go. We are going to have to work pretty soon on, you know, taking this dirty water and pumping it back, you know, into a filtration system. We're pretty much ready to do that. You know, once filtration research is done, we'll be able to tackle that. But let's up priority on this construction. Make sure that we're doing it. Then prioritize all the construction except the actual lavatory and shower themselves, to make sure all the piping and plumbing and stuff is there before we carry on. So this is going to take up a couple of cycles. Like, this is going to be a bit of work. So actually, let's speed things up a little bit. We're just doing a lot of building. We've got this little reservoir for more direct uses. We're not tapping into the major one yet. We've still got 1.3 cycles before our next duplicant shows up. Yep, building plenty of pipe. Build in the airlock. It's a nice bit of progress. You know, everyone's on the case. So yeah, we're just grinding through this. It's nice to have the group on a mission, you know. This is going to be a little bit unbreathable until they break through and get to this stuff. Bigwig kind of ducked in there for a bit. It looks like it's actually a little bit cold, which is the opposite of true. Like, the algae area is a bit warm. Down here it's cold. It's absolutely cold down there, but, you know, got this thimble reed. Yeah, and then eventually we will build that ladder all the way down into the polluted water, yuck, yada yada. And then that will be where we put the other pump. So we can actually do that, but at a 5 priority. So people won't be too concerned with doing that right now. But as that happens, we'll make a natural gas geyser. That could be interesting. Natural gas geyser means it's just constantly spitting out natural gas. And if we look over here, natural gas generator. So, if we can make use of that geyser, if we can utilize that in the right way, we can just constantly produce energy from it. And we can be in great shape. So we're going to do gas piping now. It's the last of the first tier research that we need to do, so might as well. And yeah, we're gonna start like assessing a plan to hit up this geyser. And it's gonna be a little bit of hazardous work to get there. But you know, I trust in our team. I think we can pull this off. And you know, we'll have this reservoir here. I think what we'll do is kind of dig down this way to kind of use what's over here as a path to access this. Insufficient oxygen generation, but again, oxygen levels in the main base are hardy. They're hardy and healthy, and I don't feel bad about them whatsoever. In fact, our decor ratings, I don't feel bad about them whatsoever. We're gonna put a little sculpture over here, kind of just because. It's not prioritized right now. It's less important. So there we go. This plumbing is done. So yeah, that's unreachable, so that sucks. Let's build a quick tile here to make that reachable. High priority. We'll build it, build the pipe, immediately deconstruct the tile. Because we don't actually need the tile. And let's queue up a couple more mush bars because our calorie count is getting a little low. You know, 14,000, 15,000, it's not that bad, but, you know, make sure we have good reserves. So we can deconstruct this, and then deconstruct that airlock. And yeah, we can do some sweeping. It's not a huge deal. Indeed, I would say, like, setting up this sieves the selected liquid out of a liquid mixture. That could be useful in time. We have a gas filter as well. But we're just going to want a pump. And that is going to have its own pipeline. And it's going to need power. Now you might say, Hupfen, that's a really long wire. And yes, it is. And hopefully this will actually become part of this electrical grid with this natural gas geyser. But we have to get to that point. We're not yet at that point. Right now, deconstructing this should be a priority. I don't know why people aren't. Like, come on. It's not unreachable. You know, someone go do this. We'll have to save that for next episode, I guess, because we have our new duplicant. So do we have? We have Devin. It's an interior decorator, so decor expectation is a bit high. That's unfortunate. And a scaredy cat, so we won't do combat. That's not too bad. We don't really look for a lot of combat. Then we have Ren, who's an early bird, but also a narcoleptic. I don't actually know how that combination would work out. But that's Ren's problem, not mine. Then we have Hassan, who is uncultured, and takes a little longer to use the restroom. since we have a backup restroom, or at least we will very soon, I'm not too concerned about this, and we may end up building a third, you know, or a fourth as the base grows. Actually, we will, because we're going to need a lot more. So we're going to take you. You're a little lower level than everyone else, but whatever. And you are going to be... You're going to be Hawkbit. I think you look like a Hawkbit. So we will print you out. High priority. Give Hawkbit a bed. You know? Someone give him a bed. So, how are we doing at the end of this episode? We've got, you know, our population of 7. Stress is way down. I'm very appreciative of that. Our food situation, we could use a little bit more. So we'll focus on that over the next episode. We are ready to do the pump. We just need someone to come and deconstruct the airlock. Like, come on, people. But once that's done, like the lavatory, the shower, construction is ready to roll. So we will be seeing that, hopefully in the next episode. But for now, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, a like would be appreciated. Subscribe doubly so. But either way, ta-ta for now.